Yo, what's up out there, everybody? You already know what it is. Willie Epteen Jr., Ballers Report podcast right here on the Warzone Sports Network. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on YouTube Live as well as Twitter for the Warzone Sports Network's Twitter feed, as well as the Shakeback Media Group and the YouTube channel for the Warzone Sports Network. We got an all-timer tonight, baby boy, when I tell you just that. You know how it is, man. Shakeback Media Group, whenever somebody comes on for the first time, they are a guest. And after that, they are family. But what do you do when you have somebody that's actually family, but is coming on the show for the first time? Does that make them Shakeback Media Group family, or does that make them a guest? I don't know. I don't care. I got somebody coming on here real fast. Larry Bridges. He's going to discuss his journey as he is preparing for the upcoming season with the San Diego Strike Force in the Indoor Football League. So, with that being said, you already know what it is. You already know what we got to do. Let's go get it. Come on.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds.
Yeah, I know what it is. You little suckers get to talking, grabbing, not walking, strapped to the pong, getting jaws, and smacking, they sleep with the coffins. And they getting greedy like saying, give me all this.
Yes, sirree, buddy. You already know what it is when you hear that music. Warzone Sports Network, Shakeback Media Group, Ballers Report podcast. As I said in the intro, he is coming on the stage. First time on the show, but he's in my home a lot. I'm talking about Larry Bridges, man. Welcome to the show, son. What's going on?
Nothing much. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. The football journey started at Horn High School in Mesquite, Texas, where you played defensive back there. And then it went on to Southeast Oklahoma State University, where you continue your DB play there. There was a stint with Texas A&M Commerce in the middle of that. That was just a cup of coffee, but you went back to SCOU State, where you finished off your career. And now here we are on the fringe, on the hinges, on the cusp of being a professional football player. How does it feel?
Yes, sir. It feels amazing. Feels great. All the hard work is finally coming forth together, and I'm just excited and pumped to go ahead and get this season going and to make my mark and to bring a championship to San Diego Strike Force.
The San Diego Strike Force of the Indoor Football League. They have 14 teams. First game is against the Bay Area squad out of really San Jose, Oakland, the Bay Area. That's why they're called that. That team is owned by gaming sensation Mr. Choi, as well as some dude named Marshawn Lynch. Y'all may have heard of him.
Yes.
But for a bad call on the goal line, he probably would have been the Super Bowl MVP. But this ain't about Marshawn Lynch. This is about Larry Bridges. So, Larry, talk to the people out there, man, that's watching and listening. Your story when it comes to loving the game of football. What was that one thing that said, you know what, I want to play this game for a long time? What was that thing that made you say that to yourself?
The one thing that made me come to that conclusion of wanting to play football and pursuing it as a professional career, I would say the life lessons really I learned since I was peewee. I learned how to encounter adversity. It's always going to show itself, and you have to be able to perform under pressure and still execute even though adversity hits. And I realized that translated to a lot of things in life, and I just love that.
That's what they call a shakeback story. So you have one just like all the rest of us. But so when you went from Horn to what town is that in? No, not McAllister. Durant.
Oh, Durant, yes, sir.
Yeah, they are what they're not the Cowboys, are they?
No, sir. They're the Savage Storm is the name of the team, but it's a lightning bolt. They ended up changing the name because it was controversial because it was Savages at first, and then they were like, I don't know. They had to change the name, so now they're like the Lightning Bolts. It's
They,
like
they needed to be politically correct. Let's just go
Yes,
ahead and
absolutely.
put that out there. That's what that was.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's all good. So you are look, we're gonna get to a little bit of your tape here in just a second. But we want to let everybody know out there that's listening and watching that Larry is accepting donations for his cause to get out to San Diego. The IFL, ladies and gentlemen, is not like the NFL, the USFL, the XFL, or even the CFL up in Canada. A lot of these players, they have to, well, all of the players have to find their own way to get out there. And you can see it scrolling across the screen. Cash App or hashtag Larry Bridges S. Any amount that you can send to him would be accepted and appreciated and thankfully and humbly received. So help a brother out, man, because this dude is following his dream, and we're all about lifting people up and helping them reach their dream. So while at SEOU, no, Southeast
SOSU.
Okay, you can say it. You can say it. So you play safety, a little bit of free safety, a little bit of strong safety, a little bit of cornerback. Tell the people what the Strike Force are getting as far as a player when it comes to yourself.
The Strike Force is getting a well-rounded, multi-flex dude that can play multiple positions, and I'm just like a heat-seeking missile. I fly around to the ball, and I'm a ball hawk as well. So those combinations makes a great ball player, and you can expect me to be around the ball every play. I'm going to be around the ball. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm probably going to have the ball in my hands more than likely. I'm going to find a way to do that for sure.
And you know what they say? It ain't what you say, it's what you show. And we actually have a little bit of tape here that we're going to run, or we're going to attempt to run here. So let's do that right now and see what happens.
Okay.
So on this play, Larry, coming up, it looks like they're going to circle you there. You look like you're in the slot. Tell everybody what's going on this play.
Okay. So it was 3rd and about 9 or 10, and I knew that I seen the split from the slot receiver, and I seen how he was in tight, and he was on the line, so he had to be doing the deepest route, which had to be a corner in order to get open, because football is all about timing and space. And so I just kind of baited him into it. I let him run his route, but I ended up running it for him, and I just came undercut it. Tried to return it to the house, but I got a little horse collar. But it's all good. It comes with it. It comes with the football. It comes with it.
All right, and then here on this play right here, you obviously went and got it. And what I love most about this play is that you got 10 toes down.
Yes, I read that before the play too as well. I seen that the cornerback was impressed, and they love to check fade when they're impressed. The cornerback when it's single side, when it's trips, or the single receiver on the opposite side. So I told him go ahead and press. Don't worry about over the top. I will be there. And I seen the cornerback check fade. He checked it. So I just baited it over. As soon as he said, hey, I just trusted my instincts and went forward.
And then talk about this play right here where you're playing the run and you actually shedded that block and got a hit got a TFL, tackle for loss.
Oh, yeah. That's when we were playing against Hardin University. They run a triple option. They were running that since I've been at Southeastern, they were running a triple option, and they were very efficient at it. And that play there, we ended up having a great game plan for them, and studied my film, and I read I think it was we call it number 2. He did a down block, so I knew I had to pull it, and I had to shed the block in order to make the TFL. But then again, I just went with the instincts. The preparation would put me in the position to make a play for sure.
And there were a couple of plays that were running while you were talking about the plays that I was asking you about. A couple of them where there was a receiver that looks like they may have run an in route or maybe like a square in, and the quarterback put the ball right on the receiver, but then you came in and brought the blade and separated him from the receiver.
Yes.
So what you have seen, ladies and gentlemen, from Larry is that he can cover, he can range, he can hit, he can get the toe tap, he has tremendous ball skills. Those are 5 things right there that you need from a safety. And anybody out there that's that is watching this and saw that, and particularly from the San Diego Strike Force, that is the player that you're getting. So let's talk about the process a little bit, Larry, because when you got the offer to play for the Strike Force, when they contacted you and offered you a contract, what were the first initial thoughts that went through your head?
The first initial thoughts that went through my head, honestly, were just thank God. God is amazing, because I had been in contact with a few people, not been in contact, but trying to get in contact with a few coaches here and there. They're trying to get seen and get an opportunity to play professionally. And it had been a while since I heard from anyone. And at the moment when they contacted me, I was actually training on the beach. I was training, getting some work in, because I knew my time would come. So that's always what kept me motivated and always training. So at that moment I was training, and I got the message, and I seen that they were interested. And then I just realized that everything that I've been doing was for a purpose, and, to continue to do what I'm doing and continue to be looking forward and straight and manifesting and making it happen.
And that's what you call, ladies and gentlemen, having the eye on the prize. Because we look, there's no secret. Let me just go ahead and put this out there. Larry is the boyfriend. Better, should I say better half? I guess I could say. Well, you can't say better half until you're married. But he is the boyfriend, significant other. We'll say that. McKinley, she of course is mine and Patrice's daughter, and we have a whole lot of love for him, a whole lot of respect for him for everything that he has done in terms of being a model boyfriend for her. I know sometimes it's guns and roses, but that's with any relationship. So yeah, we are very, very proud of you and extremely proud of you, and I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, because you're going to go out there and make plays. So there's going to be an opportunity for you to appear probably or possibly in the media, whether it's print, whether it's video like this, whether it's just simply over the phone. So this type of exercise will get you prepared for that type of event that's going to come along with that. So when is it that you're going to be heading out to San Diego?
I'll be heading out to San Diego on March 1st. This next Tuesday, upcoming Tuesday, I'll be heading out to San Diego to begin the process.
And the season will begin on
March 21st is our first game, and that's like you said earlier. We'll be playing the Bay Area Panthers out of Oakland, and that's the first game. I can't wait to go ahead and smash some heads and make some plays. And then I'm going to for sure have to give with Marshawn. I'm going to have to try to let Marshawn know after the game, of course. Let him know, I'm here.
And you know what's cool about that is because everybody knows Marshawn as beast mode.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go out there and show him with some of these hits that we just played. I'm actually going to play it again, because I think it's pretty dope that we were able to hook that up and get some of that on here. But you can look at this. Anybody that's watching can go out there and see how how Larry is going to be the beast mode of defense. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go ahead and play that again while we continue to talk. Mm-hmm. And then look again, just being able to hit with these ball skills. He's got great hands. Larry, your credentials are 5'10", or your stats, should I say? Or not your stats, your specs. That's what I call them. 5'10", 180. Your 40 time is about a 4.5, 4.6, which is fast enough. Who is that one player that you have watched over the years, whether it be college, whether it be NFL, anybody in pro football that you patterned your game after?
Great question. I'm glad you asked. So for sure, Tyrann Mathieu. I've been watching him since high school, since I was a freshman. I've been watching Tyrann Mathieu because he's been a player that has been resilient and been able to overcome a lot of ups and downs and still be able to produce at a high level, elite level. And even though he could have won the Heisman, but he got into he ran into some little trouble, whatever the case may be, and he ended up staying down and continued to work and keep his head on the right path. But he continued to excel. So now he's one of the better players, better safeties, defensive players, period, in the NFL right now. Brian Dawkins, of course, I watch his highlight pretty much every day, pretty much same thing. He was a smaller safety in the NFL, and he was able to, make his mark, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. And it's not a surprise why he's in the Hall of Fame, because his passion for the game and everything like that. And as in one more, will it be Sean Taylor, RP, rest in peace, Sean Taylor. But he was for sure one of my idols as well. I was hurt when I heard the news. I was probably in about 8th grade when I heard that. What happened to him? But again, he's a player that flies around, and regardless of his stats, not stats, but his 40 time or whatever the case may be, he's going to be around the ball, making the plays and making himself known. And that's what I took from all 3 of those players. And I kind of combined my game in all 3 of those into one. And here I am.
You know what? That's very interesting. And I'm surprised that myself that I never asked you that question, but maybe that's the timing of it all, because this was a perfect place for you to reveal that. Mm-hmm. And what I like about those 3 players, you have one that's present, you have one that's retired, and of course, Sean Taylor, of course, was tragically and just murdered in his home from an invasion a while back. And Sean Taylor, what I remember about him, he was a bigger safety. He's too big and can talk about bringing the blade. Yeah, that is what he did. Yeah. Brian Dawkins, he was more of a run stopper, but although he did play the other aspects of safety very well. And then when you have Tyrann Mathieu, he is a combination of both of those guys with better athleticism, better speed, and could very much impact the game in any area, whether it was on defense and when he was at LSU in the special teams game as well. So those are 3 terrific people and players to pattern your game after, and all 3 of them, Hall of Famers for sure, with Dawkins already being there. All right, man. So we talked about it, and it's going across the screen right now. We ain't got a problem with asking for money. That's what we're about. So tell everybody that's watching and listening what the goal is for you in terms of you're making your way to San Diego, and how they can actually get some money to you.
My Cash App is running. The Cash App tag is running right here at the bottom for you. It's Larry Bridges with 2 S's. And like you said earlier, anything will be accepted, humbly accepted. I'm appreciate all the help. Anything that, if you can send anything, go ahead. I appreciate it. And yeah, man.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at _Larry B _. So that'll be _capital LARRY B _. And then my Instagram is official _Larry B. Just like that, official _Larry B in my Instagram. Y'all can follow me. Continue to watch the journey. You'll see a lot of what's going on there, and you'll be updated for sure on the journey of the path of headed to the NFL, CFL, all of the above.
All of the FLs. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this, and I'm gonna let Larry go. You're not. This is something that you can sow into. This guy, this man, he's a tireless worker. He's very respectful. If he wasn't involved with our daughter, I would any father wouldn't mind him dating their daughter. He's that type of guy. So you're sowing into a dream, and remember, it's not where you sow, it's what you sow. So please sow into this young man. I would not vouch for him at 100% if I didn't think that it was so. So Larry, with that being said, man, I'm gonna let you get on out of here, and we'll holler at you down the road, bro.
Absolutely, yes, sir. You take care. Y'all take care.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right, so there he goes. Larry Bridges will be bringing the blade with the San Diego Strike Force of the Indoor Football League. And again, it is not what you sow. It's not where you sow, it's what you sow. And we believe in sowing into young people's dreams, old people's dreams, anybody that has a dream and a drive. That's what it takes to get to where you want to be. So I appreciate him coming on the show for the first time. So now he is not only a member of the family, he's a member of the He's a member of the Shakeback Media Group family as well. All right, I'm gonna talk about a couple things before we get up out of here. I did not have an opportunity to talk about the Super Bowl on the last show, as I had my good friend Myrna Tarango to join me and talk about her Shakeback story. And we're going to be hopefully partnering with Myrna again on some other things. I had texted her last night to let her know that I wanted to run some things by her, because 30 minutes just was not enough time in order for us to really shed the light on everything that she has accomplished up to this point in her life and everything that she's doing here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, but I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl and how great of a game I thought it was. It was a clean game, other than the 2 picks thrown by Matt Stafford, with even one of those not even being his fault. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams for winning the title, the Super Bowl in their home stadium, the first time ever. Here's some history notes behind that game. The first time ever that a Super Bowl game and a championship game were played in back-to-back weeks in the same stadium. Okay, the second time in NFL history where a champion was crowned in their own backyard. The first time ever where we had 2 number 4 seeds playing for it all in the NFL Super Bowl. The first time ever where we had 2 quarterbacks, or both starting quarterbacks, wearing the number 9. Those are some history tidbits for you. Unfortunately for Odell Beckham Jr., who was having a tremendous game, and I thought he was well on his way to possibly being in contention for the MVP of the game, non-contact play going across the middle, humbled, or his knee buckled. I had texted with Michael Hunter Jr., who's really close with him. I said, yo, man, this still looks bad. I said, I hope it's not the ACL. And I asked him, what did he think? And he said, it looks like it might be. Now, of course, I don't have any information as to if it is or if it's not. I did see a photo or a video of OBJ participating in the Super Bowl championship parade, where he was on a crutch and he had a 24-ounce can of Corona, or maybe Modelo, one of the two. So I thought that was pretty cool. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, thank you for providing such an entertaining season, and definitely the postseason when you beat the Raiders at home. You went on the road and you beat the Titans, the number 1 seeded Titans, with your rookie kicker from Florida, Mr. McPherson, making a 49-yarder, I believe it was, to win the game, and then going to Kansas City, to Arrowhead, to beat the Chiefs. Oh, by the way, I still hate them. Beating the Chiefs on yet another field goal by Mr. McPherson in overtime. Those 2 games were phenomenal, even after the offensive line had given up 9 sacks to that Titans front 7, and they were still able to win the game. I think, Ryan Tannehill, rather, his days might be numbered in Nashville, kind of like the days were numbered here in Dallas for the Unicorn in Kristaps Porzingis, as he was traded on deadline day. Also, real quick, before I get up out of here, I gotta address the All-Star Weekend festivities in Cleveland. I was on with her in the huddle. Rachel Hill, of course, I'm the co-host with her there. We talked about that earlier on Tuesday. The city of Cleveland, they rolled out the red carpet and they did their thing. And Rachel and I talked about a couple things in terms of the second half of the season in the NBA. The Cavaliers, I said it on that show. I'm going to say it now. You heard it here. The Cleveland Cavaliers are going to go deeper in the playoffs than the Brooklyn Nets. You can @ me on Twitter at Shakeback Media Group. I don't care. I'm going to stick by what I said. And if I am wrong, I will be back on these airwaves somewhere eating barbecue crow. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to see if we can get some sort of exotic or foreign or some type of weird food that I will eat on the air as a representative or as a symbolism of eating crow, should the Brooklyn Nets actually advance farther in the Eastern Conference Finals than the Cleveland Cavaliers. Also, James Harden, my thought about him going to the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for Ben Simmons. I know the city of Philadelphia is saying good riddance to Ben Simmons. I'm saying good riddance to the drama, a good riddance to holding that franchise hostage. And shame on the Sixers, man. They were asking for too much. But at the end of the day, look what they got. They got a better player in Harden than they do in Simmons, which were the two main pieces in that particular acquisition or that trade. So let the games begin. All-Star weekend is over. The break is over. There's about 25 games left to go in the year. My Los Angeles Lakers and Tony Tucker, we kind of texted each other back and forth before the show. Our Lakers suck, and there's no secret about it. It just goes to show you can have four Hall of Fame players on one team and it not be a team. It's happening, and it seems though it's happening with the Lakers, and it is like an MO with the Lakers because now you have Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and of course LeBron James, 4 Hall of Famers, destined Hall of Famers on this squad. Reminds me a little bit of the team from 2004 that got beat by the Detroit Pistons in the finals that had Shaquille O'Neal, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, and the late, great Kobe Bryant. And speaking of Kobe Bryant, I had an argument with Rachel on our show earlier on Tuesday. You can check it out on the archives for WOBU 95.9 in Cleveland. I'm sick and tired of this debate since the NBA has come out with their 75 greatest players of all time in recognition and in salute of 75 years in being in business as a professional basketball league. I'm sick and tired of the debates of who is the greatest of all time. Let me just say this for the record. None of us can really say, well, I should say this. Anybody that's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and maybe 50s cannot say, or should not say rather, who they think the greatest of all time is. Because there's too many players that are all-time greats that you never saw. And if it's based on the eye test, we should change the narrative. The media, we should change the narrative from that of the greatest player of all time to the greatest player that I've ever seen. That would squash this dumb debate because I personally can say that I've seen 3 great eras of basketball. You had the 80s, 90s, and then the 2000s, the 2010s, and then now, presently speaking, where we are with basketball. I've seen rule changes. I've seen melees on the floor. I've seen brawls on the floor. I've seen coaches grabbing players' legs and being dragged across the floor. And then I've seen this era of basketball now where it's free moving. It's nothing like it was in the 80s and 90s. So I'm saying this to say that, or I'm saying that to say this rather, that we can start debating who is the greatest player that you've ever seen. I can say that the greatest player that I've ever seen is Michael Jordan. And I'm going to come up with, stay tuned for this because this is large. I'm going to come up with a set of criteria that is going to identify and be a checklist of why this person or that person or whoever you choose is the greatest that you've ever seen. And then we're going to debate it. You can come on the show. As a matter of fact, once I get done with the criteria and the checklist and all of the questions and factual information, the actual factuals, I'm going to put it on Twitter. I'm going to invite anybody on, and we're going to chop it up like real folk. That's what we do. That's what we going to do. So with that being said, man, I am going to go ahead and get up out of here because my time is up, and I do thank you for yours. Also, special thanks to Larry Bridges. Man, he is doing big things. He's going to go out there to San Diego and do his thing. Again, feel free to donate. Sow into that man's dream. Again, it is not where you sow. It is what you sow. So with that said, y'all take care of each other. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other. And we'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.